Saturday morning, animation is dancing ponies and singing sponges. Saturday night is their freaky, up cousin.
Buckle up, boys.
What is this place?
Animation Domination High Def, a late night block of brand new shows. X-Cop.
I'll chop your head off!
And High School USA.
Hey gang, where's Brent? Brent's dead.
Your weekend just got a whole lot weirder.
ADHD.
Saturdays late night starting July 27th on Fox.
You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
I think this is,
I have no idea what this is.
I don't know what this is either.
You know what? Welcome to the show, guys. Unlike MVP Ryan Braun, we don't need no PEDs to perform on this show.
Heck no.
This is the AfterBuzz TV Raw After Show. I'm John Loquasto, back again.
Oh, I think that's a remix of Stone Cold.
I think it is too.
It's a remix.
Wasn't the one we were expecting.
No.
Finally, a remix.
No glass shattering. Can't afford it here. Sitting across from me, once again, at the Walking Dale, Dale Rutledge. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's a great week. It's a great week.
Yes, indeed.
I dig the vest.
Oh, thank you. Trying to class it up.
And then what's that?
class
Is that
it
a
up.
Transformer shirt you're sporting?
Yeah, I just spent the week at Comic-Con, so,
Sure.
keeping it nerdy.
Is that a Decepticon shirt? What is that?
He is a Decepticon. Yeah, it's Thundercracker.
So you're going heel.
Good eye,
You're
buddy,
going
good
heel
eye.
on us right now, you son of a bitch. And of course, the general manager of the AfterBuzz Raw After Show, Cluminator Ryan
going?
Morals Clum.
How you doing?
I'm great.
I had a, we got Mr. Paget is not here this week.
No,
think
he's not.
I beat him up in the ring a couple days ago. We finally got Josh finally got in the ring with me for
Well
about 2
deserved.
hours last Thursday. So
How'd it go?
it went really good. He did really well, and he texted me he was very beat up.
So this whole car breaking down was really just his ass. I mean,
Well, that was after the car breaking down. The car breaking down was last week, and then Thursday we got in the ring. So, yeah.
Your heart don't pump no Kool-Aid, son. And of
No,
course, without Josh, thank God we have the chair filled with the lovely, the amazing Catherine Cupcake Kelley. What's up, girl?
Sorry, I'm not as hot as Josh.
No, hey, look. As far as I'm concerned,
I don't know about that.
much rather look to you on my left than Josh Paget. No offense, Josh. No offense.
I think some of our viewers would disagree.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. We have a lot of chicks tuning in, or just
Yep.
a lot of forget it. So here we are, 4 of us. We're gonna go down the entire episode of Monday Night Raw, and I just want to say I'm glad to be back. So thanks for.
I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah,
We're
me
all
too.
Glad to have you back.
I got to tell you, I don't like looking at YouTube because, as you know, YouTube is a website for hatred and vitriol.
Oh yeah.
And I went to the show. Everyone that said nice things, I sincerely appreciate it because, look, I'm a former fat kid. I'm very insecure. And so I went to look at all the comments from this past week's episode, and they were pretty much all really
pretty good.
positive.
It was a lot of love. It was really a lot of love.
Right?
You should have seen 2 weeks ago.
I thought at first you said, I don't like you two, and you were looking right at Dale and Ryan.
Direct eye contact.
We got a handicap match going
You
on. I
dirty
think, here.
heels.
Let's go.
I'll take you both on. No, I sincerely appreciate it. I mean, it was great to see the nice comments, and I'm going to continue to try to make everyone not hate me. That's the goal. So,
Good goal. Good
what do you
goal.
say, guys? Let's have a blast for the next 75, 80 minutes. What do you say?
I'm into that.
All right.
I'm into that.
Beautiful. Monday Night Raw, straight from Austin, Texas. We start off Brad Maddox in the ring, which is always going to be unpredictable, and time for a little contract signing. Who comes out first? But the champ is here in Austin, Texas. John Cena comes out. He comes out, says his thing, followed by Daniel Bryan. This segment really didn't do a whole lot. Besides
not
set up
much.
a match.
But I thought, like, Cena's promo, I thought was very solid here.
Yeah.
It was really good, and this was promo 101. Getting into Daniel Bryan's how he's smaller, and he completely built Daniel Bryan up.
Which is needed, yeah.
When you learn to cut promos, you learn you don't want to tear your opponent down, because if you tear them down and talk about how terrible they are, if you beat that person, you beat someone that's terrible.
Which is what he's done for Mark Henry,
If
just
they
making fat jokes for the last month.
If
You
they
were saying
beat
that
you,
you're
then you
over
lost to
contract
someone.
signings, though.
I don't like
this
contract.
point.
Yeah, well, it's just because you see contract signings every big show. They're gonna have a contract signing. How many different ways can we do this? So it's always the same thing.
I would like to see
But
it
this is
set up
all right.
almost like a boxing match, where like they do like a weigh-in and like there's like guys talking back and forth. Like that's
Like
a
the
fun.
UFC.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun to do.
I can see that.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, all this really did was it basically set up Brad Maddox to be Vince McMahon's puppet more than anything else.
Yeah, and he was basically dogging Bryan the whole time and calling him a troll and just kind of, tearing him down. And that's when Cena kind of came over and was
Even
like,
though
wait
he's
a
Daniel
second.
Bryan's size.
I mean, it's kind of
So I
ridiculous.
mentioned it to you too, but I thought that Brad Maddox looked like a dead ringer of Colonel Sanders.
He's a
tonight,
young Colonel
KFC,
Sanders.
Yeah. So I sent a picture into Steven. We'll see if he can pull it up.
Herbs and spices. Oh my! I do declare.
If you are listening, you need to check out our website because we will have this picture up, but it is pretty spot on.
I made you another one too, Kathy.
Okay.
He's figured out the secret recipe, it looks like.
Brad ass chicken. Yes.
That is amazing.
Yes. That is
Think
fantastic.
you're looking good?
I love the face. It looks like he just ate the entire bucket. Like, oh, my stomach's hurting.
That was a bad decision.
Oh my God. Wow, that's a great start. Good job, Kathy. And good job, Steve.
That's a bucket I did not expect to see.
No,
Yeah.
that's a bucket we're really happy that we saw. So Maddox, you can tell he's nervous. He's not really sure what he's saying, clearly because someone is pulling the strings, marionette style, on him. He basically sets Daniel Bryan up for
I
a
wonder
gauntlet
who
match.
that is.
I don't know. I don't know. A man that wears many flashy suits. So it puts him in a gauntlet match for later on in Monday Night Raw. Overall,
Did they call it a gauntlet match then, though? They called it a gauntlet match when they announced it, but I think you just said you're going to wrestle multiple people.
Yeah, your opponent
was weird,
for the
yeah.
night. They didn't really say gauntlet till much
Brad Maddox
later on.
probably forgot. Whatevs.
Yeah.
whatevs.
He came out looking like the Colonel. I mean, that's good enough for me. He could have came out with a monocle. Just like I want to see him just drop into total weird character at some point and just like lose his mind and just start talking like a Southerner. You know what I
be
mean?
fun.
Just have him go straight up, just south. You know what I mean? Anyways, so that segment. That was it. Setting up the match for later on in the evening. Segment 2, moving on to Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio. Still no Ricardo Rodriguez because
Fat burners.
don't take him.
Don't take
If
fat
you
burners,
want to
man.
if you want to get a vacay on Raw, I got 2 words for you. Fat burner.
Fat burners. Exactly. Don't
30-day vacation, baby.
don't do anything that if you want to put mass on, that's fine. You're gonna have to keep working.
Protein powder.
Exactly.
Why does
You can put the
Swagger
weight on,
get like
but
a
you can't
slap
take it
on the
off.
hand for getting a DUI? And
It wasn't a
poor
DUI.
Ricardo-
It was a D.
It was a D-U-W.
DW.
W.
But poor
M-
Ricardo just has like I don't know a little Excedrin or what?
Yeah,
or what is that thing
burners.
called?
He's got some
Not
baby
Excedrin,
fat on him.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
One of those fat burners.
Yeah.
I mean,
Benadryl.
Xenadrin.
Name
Yeah.
it.
there obviously were in different. Swagger was in the middle of a big push. I mean, I can't
Yeah.
justify. They've never really. I mean, they've broken the rule a little bit before. But
Look, I look at it this way. If you're a professional wrestler, your body goes through hell
Yes.
on a nightly basis,
Yes.
especially at that level. Marijuana should be a rite of passage. That's what I would argue.
I 100% agree.
It's
but the
healthier
thing
than
is-
pills.
Right, but the problem is with you're still talking about the Chris Benoit stuff with the government and all that. And they
don't
are
mention
doing,
that name.
I understand, but the reason for all that stuff is I don't think they really care if the wrestlers smoke pot or not. Honestly,
It's all government
It's
stuff, yeah.
all government stuff. It's all having to deal with that. They were pulled in front of Congress.
And I'll be honest, I mean, as a healthcare professional, I could tell you, painkillers are way more
worse.
dangerous than marijuana.
Alcohol way more dangerous.
Yeah, I've seen people hooked on pain pills. It is not a pretty sight. We've seen wrestlers die from addictions to pain pills. Marijuana, I know there's that common phrase that you can't OD on marijuana. Well, you really can. All you do is just space out a little bit.
You can actually overdose on water.
That's true.
We talked
about this weekend. You can actually overdose and die from drinking too much water.
Someone died, right?
Yeah, I think it was that Hold Your Wee for Wee thing back. It was a radio promotion. Someone died years
it was like
ago.
a video game thing
years
too,
ago.
or something, right?
Well,
Hold your Wii for Wii?
Yeah, remember the Wii? The Wii?
I got that.
So a radio. A radio station held a contest called Hold Your Wee for Wee, and they held to drink tons of water and hold their urine, and someone died from it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, someone died in Mexico at a beer drinking contest over the weekend. The winner drank 6 liters of beer in 20 minutes and had a heart attack and good night, nurse.
That's crazy.
They didn't mention that the heart attack was the prize that he would win.
That was actually what it was.
Oh.
Yeah. There was yeah.
Congratulations.
And actually he didn't even get to sign off for the cash prize, so I think they just got away scot-free.
Oh.
It's in Mexico.
That's awful.
They don't.
Yeah.
It's like in The Cable Guy. Please promise me you'll never go skydiving in Mexico. They don't have the regulations. It's pretty much the same thing.
Wait, but before we move on, I do want to say though, for weed though, I would feel like if you were smoking and then you got in the ring, like I mean, I could see why the regulation is there because your attention to detail might be lesser, and that's when people get hurt is when you're not paying attention.
Or it
to what
actually
you're
might be
doing.
more.
But after the match, yeah, there you go.
Makes you might focus a little bit more.
Focus on the pretty girl in the crowd. Or the military guy doing this, like in the main event.
Oh, yeah,
tonight. No, during the tap outs.
Take my picture.
Oh, man, that was great. So, our first actual match of the evening, we had Sheamus versus ADR, still no Ricardo, like we mentioned. Sheamus still beat up from the ladder match, just bruises.
Yeah.
Bruises everywhere.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
He was like,
I mean, it was literally like his
Beat up,
entire, from his
yeah.
knee all the way up to his waist on one leg.
Which was a giant part of the psychology of this match, which is great. This match had great psychology.
ADR
because
is a
of it.
psychologist in the ring. He
Absolutely.
really knows how to target.
I think he's the best at it. As far as that old school grabbing a body part, working it. You know, it's usually the arm. I've talked about before. There was a match where he had against Kane, where he worked the leg to get Kane on the ground, and then started working the arm once he got him down. He's brilliant with
I mean,
that
he's
stuff.
a third generation star, and so I think
Is he
that's
third?
I think he's third.
I know he's second.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I know his dad is Dos Caras Sr., his uncle is Mil Mascaras. I'm not sure if there's a grandfather there. And his brother just got cut, I believe, from NXT. They just released
That's
him.
a new trend, cutting the younger brothers of the stars.
While they have the title, ironically enough, because Ziggler, his brother, got the boot when he had the championship
I guess
as well.
speaking of, we should maybe mention we're going to have him in a couple weeks. I just found out today.
Riley Pierce.
Riley Pierce, I believe the 5th is going to be in studio.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We love that. We do not love people getting dropped from the roster, though.
No.
New.
Especially
And,
when they're very talented.
Yeah, which, you know, I think the guys like that, good things are going to come out of it at some point. Maybe they'll jump back on. Who knows?
Right, and I mean, I guess someone like a Damian Sandow, look at him. He left, went to, he was Idol Stevens, left for a long time, went to Puerto Rico, came back, and is way better.
I saw a match from Sunday Night Heat 11 years ago with Damian Sandow.
Oh, wow.
He was a different name, hair past his shoulders, but he lost. But I mean,
Yeah,
11
Idol
years
Stevens.
ago he was with them. I mean, that's a long road.
Jeez.
haven't we been complaining though the last month or two that they've had such a heavy roster?
Well,
That they've had too many guys?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't
other
think
than,
so.
well, once everyone came back
TNA thinks
from
they
being
do.
hurt, now we have way too many people again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if
Like,
it's
I
that they
feel
have
like it
too
was a
many
little,
people. It's
it was
they
a little
seem to
light
use the
when
same.
Dolph was gone and when Fandango was gone and all those guys were gone, but now
mean,
we're back to being completely full. Like,
yeah, but you have 19 hours of television a week.
there's
I think
always room.
There's a place.
Yeah.
Not if you're in TNA. If you're in TNA, just look over your shoulders. You're about to get dropped. They just be dropping people.
You could be the hottest thing in that company 1 week,
Yeah.
and 3 weeks you're gone.
Yeah. Like, sorry,
doesn't
we don't
matter.
want to pay for your flight to Orlando anymore. We're gonna have to let you go.
You're gonna go.
And speaking of like 10 years ago, did you see the match they just posted up to of Daniel Bryan versus John Cena 10 years ago on Velocity?
No.
Where, yeah, they just it was Cena and Bryan 10 years ago on Velocity when he was in his yellow pants doing the Dr. Thugonomics.
Okay, so he was already doing Thugonomics.
Yes, he
that must have been
just
like
he had
infancy.
just started doing it. It was like a squat. Bryan was just like a jobber on there.
That must have been right after the first time he rapped to Steph McMahon at that Christmas. Was it a Christmas party?
I think
when he
some
came up?
party, yeah.
We're really bringing out our nerdness.
I know.
He's like, you guys are such dorks. Why are you all single? This is why, Ken.
Oh my God, yes.
This is why.
It's because we like wrestling.
Hey now.
So here's the thing. ADR works the leg. Sheamus tries to get him up for the white noise. Leg goes out. ADR rolls him up. Fantastic finish.
So good.
Oh yeah, phenomenal finish, and I love that he's putting on the weight on the hurt leg that he can't get the power to kick out of on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not even 1-800 fella could help him out with that one.
No, and we were talking
fortunately
about
not.
like, as much as you want to talk about wrestling being fake and whatever, I guarantee you he hurt through that match, having that targeted.
Dude, Sheamus
There's
is a
way
stud.
yeah, absolutely.
He's a workhorse. I mean, you can't say anything about that. He is.
Did you see the pictures he put up of his thigh from last week after the Money in the Bank?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Where it was twice the size. The reason he wasn't on Raw last week is because his thigh was twice the size of the other one.
He's lucky that that's all that happened. It was just a lot of bruising around the area, and then obviously the swelling around the thigh and the IT band and everything.
Yeah.
But man, nasty. The fact that he came out, it's impressive.
Yeah.
So after that match, moving on, we have a backstage segment. As you know, on SmackDown, Vicky Guerrero was named the general manager in quite a surprise move. I honestly did not see that coming. So Teddy and Booker T are backstage. Obviously, neither one of them are happy, and they're not happy with each other because they kind of have a little thing. Because obviously, when Booker T was gone, Teddy was a little, getting his little comments in, like Booker T never did something like that. And so they kind of argued back and forth.
A really bad impression, by the way.
It was hey, look,
Horrible impression.
ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying I'm a good Teddy impersonator, but that was my attempt at it. Holla, holla, holla.
I was like, holla, holla.
So, so what do you think about the argument? Teddy ends up leaving.
I think at first Teddy was lucky to have a job because he was fired from being general manager. Him versus Johnny Laurinaitis.
And he had a heart attack at a wedding.
I feel like Teddy's just not a strong enough personality to be the GM.
Yeah, I don't like him as
anything.
I like him better as a heel.
Yeah, and the one thing when he was GM before I always complained about was he was the babyface but doing heelish things like having his girlfriend do things. He was very unlikable. He was very, very unlikable.
I want to see Teddy go back to like 20 years ago, Teddy, where he has like the V-neck sport coat and the hat. That's what I would like to see. Get a little mustache.
I liked the one he was like the manager of Doom back in the day.
Go total heel. Go total heel. I think that's what he's about to do. Now, who will he team up with? I don't know.
Who could you team Teddy? Could you put Teddy and Ryback together? Teddy's probably too goofy for that, right?
I mean, Teddy.
Ryback needs a manager.
It's not
he
a great.
needs something.
Yeah, it's not a great pairing. I don't think, but he does need a manager.
I agree. That's not good.
I just don't know if that's.
I don't think I'd miss him if he was gone.
Okay, what about this?
Kathy.
What about this? Teddy and the primetime players. Have him go a little
Is
heel,
that
put him with
because that's
primetime players.
racist?
It's racist.
Wait, just because you're putting brothers together, why is that racist? Holla, holla, holla.
You immediately think of the only black people on the roster.
Because they need a manager to replace Washington. They still could use that. I don't know.
Speaking of black people,
yeah, seriously.
Uh-oh, abandoned ship here.
No, and she brings up a funny point, but that's one thing in professional wrestling, especially with WWE, you don't see color. Like when I see primetime players, I don't think of black dudes.
No,
you know what I mean. But I think that would be a great pairing because Titus O'Neil's hilarious. Darren Young is not. But he's great in the ring. I think they're.
He tries to be, which is kind of funny in itself.
I think they're a great team, but I think Teddy being the voice for them will allow their characters to come out. I think that's a great pairing.
Darren's unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah, that's what he doesn't try to be funny.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he looks so much like John Cena. It's so weird.
It is pretty funny. Even Cena has owned up to it. He was like, "Oh yeah, my brother from another mother," or whatever.
How is that possible?
It's kind of mind blowing. It's kind of mind blowing.
What is his background? His ethnicity doesn't match. I don't understand what it is.
Either way, I do think that Teddy Long would be a great personality fit for the PTPs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Teddy Long. I'm a Teddy Long guy. I think lately he's been a little bit stale. But it's kind of hard to be a face GM and be fun.
Yeah.
In the chat, Ryan Lesko said Teddy should go back to reffing.
Now that's old school right there.
That really is old school. And you know what? That's not a bad. He could become like the ref that starts screwing everyone over accidentally. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like that's a lot more work, man. Does he really want to go?
He probably
like,
won't.
Oh man,
won't
don't
do
make
that.
me go referee, please.
He's getting up there. He is getting up there.
I'd rather just talk once in a while and get paid the same up on the stage.
I like Teddy. He kept SmackDown interesting for a while. I mean, I'm talking like 5 years ago, but he kept it interesting over there. So I don't want to disparage Teddy.
No, I want
Better
Teddy around.
forever.
And that's a great idea, teaming up with the primetime. Maybe that's what we're starting to see the PTPers on TV more.
Yeah.
Maybe Teddy will do one of those things where he recruits them or whatever. And
got to turn him heel, but they could be funny heelish.
Dude, they're
type
gonna be
thing.
great.
They could be, yeah.
They're gonna be like Cody and Damian Sandow were. It doesn't matter if they lost. You wanted to see them. I love the primetime players.
Yeah, I do too.
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Now on to the match that I would say, arguably the match of the night that the crowd wasn't necessarily on board with. Christian and, of course, Titus O'Neil. I always love seeing Titus. I think he's incredibly entertaining, and he was the best part of the match.
I mean, he was manhandling Christian there for a while. I mean, he just right out the gate, he was
barking.
No offense for Christian.
I don't know that he barked tonight. Actually, he
did he bark?
He had a bark-free night.
I think.
I was barking when I saw it, so maybe I.
Maybe it was on the entrance. He barked.
Yeah.
But I liked what he grabbed. He grabbed the whistle. I think it was off the ring, put it and started whistling and kicking at the same time, which I thought was. I haven't seen him do that. It was interesting, trying something new. I liked it.
Yeah. So I mean, that match, like you said, Christian hits the kill switch. Really nothing else more.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Christian.
Right. I thought they were gonna put. I thought Titus would win. He was right. Christian won.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things with Christian, it's where like the guy has battled back from injury. They kind of, after all the years he's put in, they kind of just owe him one.
Yeah.
To try to give him a push, but what's he gonna get?
I mean, but he kind of already got that push last time when he came back. You know, I mean, he got him and Randy. Yeah, it's like, and they're still trying to do that on occasion. Like he mentioned it a couple times, maybe at the pay-per-view or something. I'm like, we get it.
It's become that's a catchphrase of his now.
If you're gonna push him, I'd rather see it as a heel. I think as a face, everyone's like, we like you, man.
Yeah, and I figured this would be a good point to use a veteran with respect to put over the young guy.
Yep.
To push him up the ladder. So.
I mean, maybe that'll happen at some point. But yeah, I was a little surprised
Titus
to see
needs it.
Yeah, Titus definitely needs it.
Deserves it.
So does Darren Young. Darren Young was fantastic tonight, which we will get to. Speaking of Teddy Long, former, not really proteges, but Mark Henry, he comes down to the ring and, oh, there we go. All right. Live internet television, everyone. An ad comes in. Should we say it right now? Is that how it works? All right. Anyways, guys, just when you thought animation couldn't get any weirder, leave it to Fox. On Saturday, July 27th, Fox introduces ADHD, Animation Domination High Def, a brand spanking new block of late-night animation. First, out of the darkness, our hero will swing into action to save our world from the forces of evil. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. From the creators of Parks and Recreation and the mind of a 5-year-old, it's the new animated series Axe Cop, starring Nick Offerman. Then, school is starting early, kids, and you've never seen a class this wrong. It's the new animated series High School USA, and it's all part of ADHD Animation Domination High Def. The revolution premieres in late night with the all-new animated series Axe Cop and High School USA. Your weekends just got a whole lot weird.
I gotta tell you guys about Axe Cop really quick.
Do it, dude.
It's literally a comic that when they say written by a 5-year-old, it's written by a 5-year-old. Like, this uncle was a comic artist,
Genius.
and he asked his 5-year-old nephew what to draw, and he's like, draw a cop, with an axe.
Oh my God.
And then these like giant people, dinosaur baby, shark guy with chainsaw arms, like this kid just said random things and he would draw them.
ADHD.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I hate my life.
It's going to be pretty crazy.
A 5-year-old has better ideas than I do.
A 5-year-old has a show.
A 5-year-old's already been more successful in Hollywood than all of us put together.
A 5-year-old has qualified for SAG insurance before I have. This is ridiculous.
It may be time to re-examine.
Exactly. Nonetheless, this is all starting Saturday, July 27th on Fox Late Night. That was a great ad we just had, everybody.
Thank you, Fox.
You know, 5 years into my Hollywood career, he was born, and he's already been more successful than I have.
Yep, and for that, we give a slow clap. All right, on to a guy we love. Mark Henry comes out to the ring, and of course, he got tanked by the Shield last week, and he had one of the best quotes of the night. My heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. Thank you, Andre 3000 from Outkast back in the 90s. Of course, Shield enters, they attack, Usos enter, Shield leaves the ring, they regroup, they run like scalded dogs. What do you think about this?
I was watching The Shield on Friday on SmackDown, same type of thing.
Friday Night SmackDown.
Sorry. Which,
every time, please.
Which people should go watch the AfterBuzz from yesterday for SmackDown because Stone Cold Steve Austin was on it, which was awesome.
Nice.
He was in studio here.
He was also here for our Redneck Island after show.
Yes, for Redneck Island. So both those after
Busy
shows.
man.
But most importantly, he was not here for the Raw after show.
No, he was not. But
maybe someday.
I was watching that and thinking, what's really cool with the Shield is, they're this group that beats people up all the time. But even when it's like turned around, they've never been laid out. They regroup. One guy's getting beat up, the other two guys grab him, pull him out. They show that frustration that they didn't get. They're kicking at the walls, and then they leave. They regroup to fight another day. They're like a pack of hyenas.
They haven't been bested. Even when they're bested,
They still haven't been, and you know they regroup. They have like almost like a code they go by. You know they're always 3-on-1. It's always in numbers. The minute it's evened up, they're out of there.
Yeah.
You know it's not about pride. It's not about egos. It's about effectiveness, and I love that.
When you walk with the Shield, you never ride alone. Wait, I stole that from Aces and Eights. My bad.
But I do think they are doing the Shield right again. Like I think they've got their gusto back and definitely on point with them.
The crowd loves them.
Yeah,
they do
all the time.
And I think they're with a more main event guy. I think people have been complaining. They went down to the Usos. They were at first with some main event guys. Then they wrestled some mid carders the last month.
SmackDown was the first time I liked the Usos this past week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I loved their entrance. It was really good.
Yeah, their entrance is amazing.
Yeah.
I've kind
Now,
of
what took you so long to warm up to them?
I just feel like I hadn't seen much of them. Like I just saw them come out and they were in a match and then they lost and then they left. Like that was it.
What do you think
Sometimes
about their
it takes a minute.
intro? Do you like that intro? It's very different.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, on Friday, though, there was some new music to the dance that I didn't like. It felt off to me because maybe it was just different and I don't like
I think that was just the first time I saw it, so maybe I just liked it.
Yeah, maybe. And no, the whole thing was cool. It's just they had the music fell off in the beginning on Friday for me, but the whole thing was still cool.
I thought it was
it's
really
what
strong.
they normally do.
It's different, but it's memorable.
Yeah.
So.
And it pays homage to their culture and everything. And for me, I'm in the minority. Most people I know don't like their intro. I think it's fantastic.
I love it.
It's something we've never seen before.
It
And then,
gets
of
your
course,
attention.
the pyro at the end. I mean,
They're one of the few to still have pyro at this point, really.
I think when they don't have their entrance, there's something missing. I think their entrance is a big part of them.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you need that entrance.
And I think it's great. I think the Usos have personalities. I think we're scratching the surface of what we're about to see them do.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to be probably going to be in a 6-man at SummerSlam. I don't know.
Well, you know what would be interesting too is I think it's Jay who one of them's dating. Is it Naomi he's dating? One of the Usos is dating one of the Funkadactyls, I believe. And he's going to be a major part of the
I'll find out tomorrow.
He's going to be a part of the Total Divas show. Like, I think it's Jay that's on. So
Wait, didn't you say one of them is dating the little girl, JoJo? Is that what you said?
Justin Gabriel
I'm
is now
sorry.
dating
I
JoJo.
can't
barely
keep
even
track.
legal.
I know, it's creepy.
She's 19.
It's
That's not allowed.
She walked right in, and Justin Gabriel's already moved in. Like, I know, man, give me a little 19-year-old.
There's certain things I just can't get on board. Like, I get it, Kate Upton, people go crazy. She is a puppy. Like, she's like barely 20. I just can't look at Kate Upton and be like salivate like some dudes across the country.
Older than 20 though.
But it doesn't matter.
In a good way.
She's still 20. Dudes across the country salivate for her. It's like I'm too old to look at a 19 or 20-year-old chick and be like, oh yeah.
It gets weird.
You need like a Sarah Hyland type girl who's she's like 26 but
Wait,
looks like
who is this?
16.
I'm gonna look her up right
From
now. Kathy.
Modern Family, the oldest girl.
Great, guys, continue.
You know what always used to freak me out like years ago is the guys who used to count down the days till the Olsen twins turned 18. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Many things.
Yeah, many things.
They should be ashamed of themselves seeing how they turned out, for God's sake. This Sarah Hyland. Wait, how old is she?
She's like 20 something and she looks like
she's 22.
Oh.
But 22 I can get on board with. Oh, she plays like a little kid though.
Yeah, she plays like a 16-year-old or 18-year-old.
I can get on board with 22.
So JoJo is barely legal and Justin Gabriel is barely on TV.
Yeah.
Dale! Got it.
That's a good one.
Got it. Which means he can devote more time to his relationship.
He has the time.
Which we support good relationships on the Raw After Show.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
He snuck onto E though. I mean, good for Justin Gabriel.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? All right. So yeah, we love the segment with Mark Henry and the Shield.
Wait,
we did
Dale's
scare-
another joke.
Dale's got Dale's got a thought.
Not quite yet, but we did skip over the Ryback interview, and it relates to something later also.
Oh, yeah.
We did. I
yeah, you're
apologize.
right, you're
Absolutely.
right.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he had the thing with Josh Matthews and was saying I hate average and basically people like you deserve to be intimidated. And
called him a twerp.
Yeah, and even in the beginning there was kind of a little man speech about Cena where he was saying like
Daniel Bryan's a little guy.
Danny Bryan's a little guy. So it's kind of the theme of the whole push for Bryan today. So I just want to make sure we.
And I loved where he's like the big and the strong eat the weak and the small. And I like intimidating people. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And if I'm big, that's my right. It's basically to beat you up.
The big eat the little. But to be clear, they don't eat horse pills or performance enhancing supplements. For the love of God, and they don't have fat burners. Ryback does not.
Yeah. It was a little Darwinism type stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I really like that.
Clean as a whistle. So yeah, I thought that was a fun segment. I mean, I'm a big fan of Josh Matthews. I think he's worked his ass off over the past 10 years, and I don't like seeing him do backstage stuff. I'd like to see him calling matches, but clearly it's
I wanted to see
SmackDown
wrestling
job,
matches.
so.
I thought he was good when he was on Tough Enough.
Yeah.
Like, he had some potential.
He was on SmackDown a couple of he did a program with Booker T. I mean, this is like 8 years ago.
I don't blame him, dude. I mean, you're a wrestler. I work closely enough with wrestlers. I don't want to beat myself up.
Some people don't. Yeah, Josh said to me the other day, he's like, I don't understand how you do this multiple times a day, then go to the gym 3-4 days a week, and then do this on weekends.
Yeah, and then
it's like, I have no idea how you do it.
And then be nice to people. Yeah, it's just...
You get used to it.
I guess you do.
My favorite Josh Matthews, just real quick, memory is his first time, I think he was on the mic or doing a backstage segment or something, he instantly got a nosebleed. Did you guys see that one?
No.
Oh man, it was like his first big moment, and he was so nervous that he was like, and then it just like gushed all over.
His nose busted?
It did it twice in the same night, I believe. It was twice. I don't know if it's like a condition or like I don't know his like blood vessels were just freaking out as well.
I
as
mean,
his
I get
entire
flushed
body.
in the face. I've never been so nervous where my nose is like, I'm running.
We should look it up afterwards because it was kind of. I felt so bad for him, but it left such a memory.
See what I like. Remember the Josh Matthews segment with Tim White where he kept trying to kill himself?
Yes, multiple segments. It was all on the internet.
Good.
They did like 30 of them. Yeah.
Matthews was like the Laurel to his Hardy every single time.
Yeah. Those are just weird little segments tucked away in the internet, like nobody knew they were going on.
Because I think if you put those on TV,
you're never gonna put those on TV.
Yeah, not in this PG 2013 world we're living in.
And they were funny, but they weren't funny. I mean, it was a very weird segment.
Yeah.
It's a very weird series.
Because you could tell Tim White was probably really trying that.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about it.
Yeah, Cathy's like, what are you talking about? A former referee that got injured, they were doing these segments every week that he was trying to kill himself, and he would literally commit suicide a different way every week.
Yeah.
Whether it be just choking himself or drowning himself in a fish tank. I mean, it was
But
very
total
bizarre.
Benny Hill stuff.
Morbid.
Total Benny Hill
Totally
stuff.
Benny-
Keystone
yeah.
Cops, it would just be a total disaster every time.
With goofy music and like sound effects, you know, as they were doing it. And yeah, it was very bizarre.
It was a different time.
So, speaking of the opposite of bizarre, Daniel Bryan, John Cena backstage. I don't know, it's kind of a time filler. Basically, Daniel Bryan saying, hey, man, I don't need your help. I want to prove to myself you better not come out to the ring. Cena gives that stoic 12 rounds look on his face like he likes to do. And that was the end of that segment.
Dale liked that joke.
I guess he did.
The only person to positively reference 12 rounds in a very long time, I feel like.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, so that's that. Any thoughts? Okay.
Yeah, and moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on.
It did fill time. You're right. It did fill
It
time.
is exactly what it was.
It did
But
fill time.
I think this plus what happens later on could lead to something next week.
I think it's building up.
It's a setup. It was in there. It was like throwaway whatever, but it was important.
I mean, the crowd's gonna. I mean, SummerSlam in LA, they are gonna go.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy for
That's
Daniel.
only a few weeks away.
I can't
Yeah,
wait.
it's less than a month. But can I ask you guys though? Do you feel like Bryan to the? I mean, not to us because we all love Daniel Bryan, but do you feel like he needs to prove himself, like on TV? Do you feel like there's that impression? I feel like we just went through this with Randy Orton.
To me, he's
and-
already done it.
He's already
yeah,
done
like
it.
he's not the weak link in the tag team. We just went through that whole.
It's all for
story.
storyline.
Yeah, it's all
I mean,
story.
The crowd wouldn't be so behind him if everyone didn't know how great he was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you can chronicle his story over the past 12 years that he's proven himself time and time again all over the world how good he is. And now all of a sudden he comes into WWE as NXT. And at first he didn't know what to do. He couldn't put two sentences together. And then he just like fell into this. Like he just all of a sudden
It
it
just
seemed
happened.
Like, yeah, like overnight almost.
It's like with AJ, it was the AJ stuff. I think it's when he was with AJ, it really started to come together, right?
Yeah.
I think his personality really started to come out.
some people just have to find their niche.
Yeah.
And he found it. And
Yes.
so where now it's like he can do no wrong.
Maybe this is to build a bigger storyline with Vince. Also, maybe this is all alluding to some kind
Yeah.
of bigger picture.
Could be.
Down the
I
road.
tell you, man, I watch him conducting that audience, and I haven't seen anybody do that in a really long time. It's
fun to
Such a
watch.
joy.
It
Such a
really
joy.
makes you think this guy, who knows? I mean, could he be the face of the company?
I mean,
think so.
I've heard people say no, there's no way still. I don't know.
he should
I
be the
don't
face
know.
of the damn video game.
Yeah, this
The
guy's,
Rock. Come on.
He's the hottest thing in wrestling right now.
That's what the back of the cover's for. They let people design the back of the cover.
He's just gonna be a big face with his beard. There won't be enough room for it.
You do bring up a good point, though. Cena and The Rock, non-wrestling fans, there is some, like, they look at it and they get it. I do think with Daniel Bryan, you have to know Daniel Bryan
Sure.
to be
Yes.
sold on Daniel Bryan. So I think you bring up a good point for
Yeah.
the back.
And I like what
Yeah.
you said. You guys have said about how we're seeing him conduct an audience like we haven't seen in a long time. I feel like this is one of those moments. Think back to when we were kids. We remember how guys controlled the audience, whether it be the Ultimate Warrior for a time or Hulk Hogan forever or, you know, Jake the Snake, you name it. This is a moment where I feel like Austin or The Rock. This is a moment where I feel like kids, because we talk about how as much as adults want to complain on the internet about pro wrestling, oh, this isn't good, we got to remember that still we don't want to deprive kids today of great pro wrestling memories that we had. I feel like this is a time right now where Daniel Bryan is giving little kids memories that they'll be talking about when they're our age.
That's where their money is. That's where the bread and butter is.
Yeah.
What movies make the most money? G-rated films.
Yep. That's a great point.
Absolutely, you know, because mom and dad have to bring the kids, so the kids want to go. Now mom and dad have to come along. The kids want to go 5 times.
And they're all good,
right? And they want to see it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So
every adult leaves like, God damn it, I like that Pixar.
Yeah, exactly.
Those minions.
Yeah, and who buys the T-shirts? The kids. Why does John Cena have 9 T-shirts in different colors? You know, I want the orange shirt. Hey, I need to get the John Cena shirt. I just bought you a John Cena shirt. No, that was the orange one. I need the blue one.
And how many little kids are wearing yes, yes, yes shirts? I mean, he's given them memories right now to where little kids 20 years from now are going to remember doing this. Right. I think it's a great to think of.
I'm just gonna say the last house show we went to, there were more Zack Ryder headpieces than anything else.
Zack Ryder provided great memories for kids. I mean, there's kids that are gonna remember the Zack Ryder era, and that's great. I mean,
Santino, who's not around right now.
Fantastic. I mean, kids deserve what we had. And that's what they're doing.
How many kids are running around with Cobra socks poking each other in the eyes in schoolyards right now? I
would. I want to do it now as an adult. Love the Cobra. Are you kidding me?
Is that what you were doing earlier?
Yeah, exactly. I came in. I don't know why Kathy's sitting next to me. I came in. I was like, "Hey, Cathy. Hey, Kathy. Welcome back to the show, Cobra." On to a great match: Dolph Ziggler versus Darren Young. Man, there were some spots in this match.
Woo, and quick.
Yes, these two. Fantastic in the ring. No days off, Darren Young versus the steal the show, Dolph Ziggler. Of course, Ziggler gets him with a zigzag. Big E runs down. Dolph outquicks him. AJ and Big E look upset. The whole thing was great.
Yeah.
They did show a little bit of that segment from SmackDown, which I feel like even outshined a little bit of this interaction. Was that where they kind of pseudo kissed? You know, he went. He was like,
great.
No, your forehead.
That was so good.
I thought that was a really great moment.
It was awkward.
There was tension, but it worked.
It felt real.
Yeah.
It felt really.
Well, it makes you wonder because the whole time we're like, why does Big E just do everything for this chick if he does? It's like the old school thing that you do in high school. Like,
and you can't tell if she's into it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why would a guy do everything for a girl if he's getting nothing out of it? Oh, he might like her.
Right.
And that's what that segment was, and it was just awkward enough to where it was really real.
And, you know, I was watching last week's segment over again where Big E came out and knocked Dolph out of nowhere. And one thing I was watching and realized and just thinking, one thing that WWE does so good is on the production end. If you watch that, you know, the things going on, the audience can see Big E coming down and getting in, but they frame that out.
Yep.
So all we see on TV is Dolph, and he turns around, and Big E comes running in to frame him, gets him out of nowhere.
Those camera guys are great.
It's the camera, it's the director in the truck selecting what angles to choose. So you didn't know it was coming. It was just it's brilliant the way they do that stuff.
It's great camera work. And speaking of which, we got a friend that works for. Shout out to Raven Berry at Raven1220. He's done a lot of shows for them, and it's not easy to do, and it's really great editing, really great production work, and you're perfectly right on that one. What do you think about the segment? I thought it was great.
I thought this was good. Yeah, it's just building to this story, which I think is very interesting.
And
I like it.
It seems like a long time coming. Like it seems like they really thought this out, which is what makes the segment so strong.
Yeah.
Which this week, what happened tonight makes you think even more. Is Ziggler even going to face ADR at SummerSlam? I feel like they're drifting away from it.
I don't know. And honestly, watching the Big E and AJ stuff from Friday, like I wanted to cheer for him. Like I wanted to like him. Like, oh my God, here's the nice guy who was watching like Ziggler with the girl he was in.
I don't know who I would cheer for against like Big E versus Ziggler.
I'd cheer for Big E almost.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's almost like the way he did that. It's like here's the guy who's been like looking at her from afar as the like cocky kind of super athlete.
He's kind of facey.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a bit facey to me, but it's not. It's interesting.
And it's Ziggler's moment.
gives you a dilemma a little bit.
It's almost like
know.
I don't know what story I'm looking for. Not Beauty and the Beast, but it's like, Big E was watching Ziggler. They were together as a couple. Makes you wonder, like, they would kind of make fun. Hey, Big E, you're being creepy. And he's like, I'm just standing here.
Yeah.
Maybe he's liked her the whole time, that kind of a thing.
Big E's violating bros before hoes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, they're not
very
bros anymore.
confusing
They're not
between
bros
the
anymore.
Good point, though.
heel
Well, that's
face
why.
thing. Yeah. Which I usually don't like, but the way they're doing this, like, I like the confusion on this one.
It's great.
I usually like that line between heel and face, and there's certain things faces do and heels do, and you really don't cross that line. But this, I like the way they're doing this
Because the performers are all great.
Yes.
Ziggler, AJ, Big E. If you have talented performers to carry out what the writers give you, it comes off fantastic. And that's what that's what we love to see.
Big E's been a big surprise for me.
Me too.
I think he's only going to get better.
I agree.
It could be a very torn crown at SummerSlam because you have Cena and Daniel Bryan, which are both face as well, and then you have Big E with Ziggler. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting crowd there.
Do you know how
He's so
fun?
strong for being a newcomer.
What, Big E?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's been NXT really.
Well, yeah.
He got signed in 2000. I actually was looking at this. He got signed in 2009, and I actually watched a match between him and Bo Dallas and went and looked their stats up. Bo was signed 2008. He was 2009. Bo is a third generation. Watched his whole life. I don't know if Big E ever watched wrestling, but Big E's
He's a lifter.
But Big E gets it a lot more. His pacing's better. His timing's better. He just gets it more
Do you
than
think
even
that it's
Bo
because
does.
they write better segments for him,
I
or
think
they introduced him better?
Nah, he just got it.
He's a natural.
Johnny will know
I
too. Johnny's
agree.
been around. Some people get it and some people don't.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why some get it and some don't. I've seen guys that are the best athletes. This guy's going to be amazing, and they just don't have it up here.
I think,
It's weird.
Honestly, I think that maybe Bo Dallas has too much pressure on him.
It could be. It's 90% mental. I will tell you. You need to be able to technically do this stuff, but it's more mental than physical.
When you come from a family in the business, sometimes there's even more pressure on it.
Like if that's something that you've wanted your entire life, someone who maybe kind of wants it might do better because they're not as nervous for when they get their big break.
But at the same time, usually second and third generation guys move a different way in the ring, and they have that pacing and that timing just naturally. And he doesn't seem to have that for me. He rushes. I watched, if you watch Scott Hall's son, I watched his very first match. He was very green, but he had a different pacing. You could tell this guy grew up in the business.
Yep.
And Bo's one that doesn't seem to have that for me.
He might just be one of those guys that needs more time.
He might.
They're going to give it to him.
Some people it takes 10 years to get it. Some people it takes a year to get it.
Yeah.
Some people never get it.
His brother's great.
We'll see.
Yeah.
His brother's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Damn right. He needs to learn from that for sure. Moving on to, oh boy, one of our favorite segments of 2013. Not the most must-see segment in WWE history, Miz TV.
No.
He will be the host of SummerSlam. Love it. But we see a Total Divas video package. He has the cast of Total Divas in the ring. Oh, where to start, guys, with this segment. Hawaiian Punch hair herself, Eva Marie, decides to turn heel.
This is the first time we've ever seen her, too, by the way. I think we saw JoJo,
We've
but
seen
this is
her
the
in
first time we saw her.
back, I thought.
Okay, is this the first time we saw her talk, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
think
JoJo
so.
as well.
No, JoJo sang.
Okay.
JoJo sang and did a whole thing with the Funkadactyls on Main Event a few weeks back.
Yeah.
She goes heel on Lawler and gives a performance as if she took a Vicodin just prior to this. And look, I'm not one to criticize, but if you're going to be on national television and you have a small role to do, deliver.
Yeah.
Actually, Cathy, would you like to reenact the segment?
Okay.
Okay, you be Eva Marie and I'll
Okay.
be Jerry Lawler.
Okay.
Here we go, guys.
Where's my popcorn?
Yeah, where is your
Go ahead.
popcorn?
Hello. I'm Eva Marie. And you look at me in a bad way.
Puppies! Continue. Oh!
That might have been better than Eva's slap.
She's here to make a name for herself, ladies and gentlemen. It may not be with a facial expression or any emotion whatsoever,
I
but she's here
feel
to make a name
so
for
bad
herself.
for her because I feel like she was just so nervous.
She shouldn't have been there.
That's one of those
Exactly.
things-
I'm not saying it's her fault.
No,
but
no.
Yeah,
It's not
she was
her fault. It's
thrust
not
into
her
it too
fault.
fast.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things is
Beautiful girl.
we saw her
Yes.
videos when they
pretty.
were doing the Divas training camp, and she is such a freaking gorgeous girl. Like
Yes.
she is one of the hottest girls that I think that they've ever had.
Yes.
and she's so self-conscious.
Yeah.
And that's just like, I mean, that's a lot of thing with a lot of pretty girls. They're very self-conscious.
No.
But she was like, she looked like she was in tears.
Well,
Like she looked like she was about to cry.
Hold on.
Cathy Kelley blowing the lid off of pretty girls on the show tonight. They're insecure. Well, I'll be damned.
Oh, man.
But she's the hottest girl up there, and she's so sad.
Well, look,
It's just, I mean, I understand. She's how long she been there?
couple
months.
weeks,
couple
tops.
months.
And you look at it this way. I mean, I remember when they signed Kelley. I mean, she never really got it. She could never talk.
Yeah.
But at least they tried with her for a while before they even let her do anything on TV.
Yeah.
They brought these chicks to the mainstream right
But
away.
And how much heat are they
even
gonna
Marie
have?
grew up watching wrestling because her brothers were huge wrestling fans. So you would think that she's somewhat, obviously she didn't grow up wrestling, but she's somewhat immersed in it more so than some of the other
but
My
you
girls.
gotta
sister had a
remember-
brother that was a huge wrestling fan, and I don't know that my sister could walk in and be a diva just because
Right.
her brother was a wrestling
And
fan.
Cathy, you have to remember, they're going after fitness models and
Yeah.
great athletes, which I get it. Not every one of these girls has a dream of being in the WWE. They have a dream of being on television
does.
and getting a name for themselves. I'm not saying that's her, but that's happened.
I mean, and I think we were talking about this earlier. I mean, Trish Stratus was the perfect example of what could happen. I mean, she was a fitness model, and she just came in and just owned every single moment.
I think she ruined the Divas division because of that.
Meaning just setting the bar too high?
Yeah, meaning I think Trish is one of the best ever. I don't mean like she ruined the Divas division, that she was terrible. I mean, she came in, and if you remember Trish's first promo when she came in and cut a promo with TNA, it was TNA as in Test and Albert.
Right.
It was awful. I mean, and this girl couldn't do, and it's like, oh my God, she's horrendous. Why is she on TV? And then she became phenomenal.
Well, same thing with Daniel Bryan. When he used to talk when he first came in, I was like, oh God, I feel bad for this guy.
But Trish went from the pages of a magazine out onto a stage and wasn't very good and built herself. So I think they looked at it and said, well, we did it with her. We can, let's just start getting models. Yeah. And that's where that kind of started to happen.
Chat roll wants to talk about the nip slip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did see that.
I didn't see it on TV.
I didn't either. I got a picture sent to me.
I think it's ironic that the Bella twin that doesn't have the fake breasts had a nipple slip and didn't notice. I don't know.
Yeah. You think her boyfriend was in the back going, yes!
Which boyfriend? I don't know who's dating who.
That's Daniel Bryan's.
Got it.
Hence the
Cena's
yes.
dating.
That's why the yes
The
is.
other one.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what happened.
I personally think Daniel Bryan's got the hotter of the two Bellas.
I mean, they're both gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, I mean, exactly.
Look,
That's like.
I am in no place to decide which beautiful identical twin's hotter.
Yeah,
if I'm at that place in life,
darn it, I don't have the hotter of the two Bellas.
you know what I mean? Like, oh man, swimming in this chunk of money's no fun. I want one with the softer $20 bills. Like you know what I mean? They're both amazing. They're both beautiful. They're both selling themselves as like mean chicks for like this TV show and even Marie, that's boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at least making their money's worth. They came in and doing the show, and they're going to promo. They're on the Today Show coming up. I mean, they're really doing the promotion. So
Justin
I
Gabriel
think
got
they're going to
himself a
make a name
girlfriend.
for themselves outside the wrestling world.
I think they probably came. I'm sure this Total Divas was a big reason they came back to the company.
it might be the only
is.
reason. I
Yeah.
feel. I'm not,
Yeah.
Well, I've heard things that a lot of people didn't want to sign, that kind of a thing. But as far as the new girls, I mean, they're going to have to train quick.
And I know there were a lot of new girls that turned down this stuff. How many of those girls are
Oh my
kicking
gosh.
themselves right now?
No,
because a lot of them didn't want to go they didn't want to go to NXT. They thought they were going to.
WWE was smart. They didn't say, oh, yeah, you're going to go and you're going to do this show on E.
Yes.
They said, you're going to get like
dedicated are you?
$35,000, $40,000 check a year. And you're going to go to Orlando, or it was Tampa at the time.
Tampa at the time.
And you're going to go down to Florida. You're going to train at NXT for like between 2 and 5 years. And maybe one day you'll make it to TV. And then the two girls that signed, they fly them right to New York to WrestleMania.
And all these girls turned it down and are kicking themselves.
And you said it perfectly. I mean, it's not an easy life, but when you think about it, for someone, like, I don't necessarily know where my next check is coming from. So, like, you offer me something like that in Florida, where it's like, all right, Orlando's not bad. There's stuff to do. I'm going to have a place to stay. I'm going to learn around other good people. I'm going to get better at my craft. Not necessarily a bad gig.
Yeah.
And I think the reason like Natalia and some of the Funkadactyls got on is because a lot of the other girls they wanted to put on.
They expected that
take
more
it.
of the
New girls.
new girls would want to come on, so there aren't as many new girls as there were originally going to be. But honestly, I think that's so smart by WWE to not say that you're going to get that, because then you get a lot of girls that would just want to be on the TV show and not want to actually dedicate themselves.
They don't owe them anything.
anyways.
They don't owe them anything. They sign you. They owe you what they want to give you. You know? And maybe this is a way to put Natalya over somehow too, because she really needs. As great as she is in the ring, she struggles on the mic. And so maybe they'll find a way to give her some kind of character.
Supposedly they're really going to focus on her enticing kids relationship, and like there was they got engaged, or they eloped, I guess, a couple months back, but they did a wedding for the show. I hear.
No, that's adorable.
That's WWE announced.
I like Tyson Kidd.
They announced it on their website. Yeah, I hear he's
JoJo's got a great personality. She's hilarious. So
she seems wise beyond her years for sure.
As a fan, though, I prefer having divas that I recognize. I mean, I understand the concept of the show, and generally speaking, I don't watch anything on E too overly much, but it's nice to have the divas actually be a part of Total Divas, because I'll actually watch it now.
Get some time on TV.
Yeah, having the Bellas on there is going to be good.
Still not going to.
I have a feeling they're going to be the stars of the show.
Speaking of Total Divas, we have a phone interview with the Funkadactyls tomorrow.
Yeah, bam, love them girls. What's up, Cameron, Naomi? Shout out.
Check that out.
Love those girls.
I don't know why I made that noise.
All right, we need to get moving on, guys.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
We have Triple H and Brad Maddox backstage. Triple H basically says, it's almost like someone's putting words in your mouth. And then this is where we get into the whole the train situation. Triple H says, choose wisely. Which train do you want to get on? One's the future and one's a dead end. Triple H leaves. And then ironically, from the other side, the old wifey comes in, the old ball and chain. Steph says that she has an idea, but Brad Maddox has to get on board. So toot, toot, who's the damn conductor in this situation?
What's her idea going to be?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Makes you wonder, what side is she on?
Yeah.
My favorite part of this whole segment was when Triple H was pumping up Bryan and say he'll overcome everything. Like I just thought to have Triple H say that.
And he said he could be the future of the WWE, which I thought was awesome.
I don't think they throw that around.
No, I mean,
no.
At least not directly from his mouth. I don't feel.
He already is. Daniel Bryan's a machine.
Yeah, and I mean, Daniel Bryan's a very important part of that company now. I mean, the match that got stopped shows that how that is with Triple H actually stopped the match because he got a stinger because so many people are hurt and they couldn't afford to lose him.
Yeah.
You never used to see that.
That's why this gauntlet thing. I'm like,
Can you
man, they're
imagine?
just working him.
Yeah.
Right?
He's a workhorse. He's a workhorse. He always has been.
Guys like him and Austin Aries, their bodies defy medical logic.
I would love to see Austin Aries in a WWE ring.
Man.
Samoa Joe, AJ Styles.
Any one of them are fantastic. I mean, I used to back when I worked with Austin last maybe 2011, 2012-ish. I mean, I'd watch him wrestle, and then backstage I'd be like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm a physical therapist. But do you need anything? He's like, "Nah, man, I'm good." Like he would just going crazy. Nothing. Just him and guys like him and Bryan are just machines, and they are just unlike other human beings. No other way to put it. They're great.
Weird.
So I enjoyed that segment because once again, more uncertainty that we can't figure out, which is what we all love about the WWE when they do it right.
I like all this little McMahon feud thing going. It's
love
interesting. They're seeding it slowly.
Yeah.
Maybe Shane O'Mac will come back.
I would love to see
that'd
Shane
be so
O'Mac.
great.
That would be great.
Yeah, I miss Shane.
Shane
McMahon.
Shane, the son of Vince McMahon, who was thought that he was going to be the guy taking over the WWE, but it ended up being Stephanie and Triple H, and he actually left the company.
Real mad.
Bye-bye.
He started doing PR for a golfer, golfer, I think.
I'm not sure what he does anymore, but
it's something
he's
to do with
involved in the company.
Some company in China or something. I forget exactly what's going on.
But it's just like it's just like wrestlers. You never say never.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back at some point.
Some of my favorite matches of all time, honestly, were with Shane McMahon.
Dude,
and that's
he had balls.
Yeah, Shane wrestled once in a while and would take like 40-foot bumps.
Yeah,
like off.
Oh yeah, with Steve Blackman.
Crazy
Just
stuff.
YouTube Shane McMahon crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure stuff will come up. It's incredible.
We
Kurt
have
Angle
ADHD
trying
right
to.
now. We're supposed to get back to Raw.
Sorry, gotta get back to Raw. Who's saying this? So in general, we need to. All right, perfect. Anyways, we see a Wyatt family video package. Come home, Kane. They lied to you, man. I will never turn my back on you. All right.
Yeah.
Now, see, that was a good impression.
I
like that. I like that one.
I talk to girls that way now.
Someone tweeted me the other day,
That doesn't work.
listen to Bray Wyatt's promo last week and think about it as him talking to Kane. And it actually made a lot more sense when you listen to it as he was speaking to Kane.
And it could happen. And maybe that's why the whole Daniel Bryan, if you notice, the Wyatt family didn't show up tonight. Who's Daniel Bryan taking on next week? Kane, perfect opportunity to separate that friendship.
Yes.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yes.
So we'll see. So we enjoyed that. Moving on, we have Fandango and Cody Rhodes. Damian Sandow on commentary calling himself the Duke of Decency, which I enjoyed very much.
Oh, first of all, we should say happy birthday to Fandango.
It is. It
32
is.
today. 32.
I have to say happy birthday to my dad who turns 70 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Mr. Cluminator.
Happy birthday.
Absolutely.
One more day, and he would have had the same birthday as Fandango.
He's a stud for 70.
He really missed out.
Stud for 70.
Totally missed out.
Yeah, really. Man. Anyways, Cody goes over with the Crossroads. Sandow tries to get involved, and his plan gets foiled by Cody, further setting up SummerSlam.
I love how Sandow keeps calling. Does he keep calling himself the future world champion?
The uncrowned world champion.
which is brilliant. It's
He's so
brilliant.
good.
Him with
He's
that
so
briefcase is gold.
Yes.
Talk about another future player. I mean, I really think
agree.
that he's going to carry it on his back as well.
He's the kind of guy, and you mentioned about guys getting it. He's the kind of dude, it doesn't matter. He could be a face or heel with that character. He could win people over.
Yeah.
Same with Cody.
Yeah, and
I think they've been really building Cody up the last month too, which
Yes.
is great to
Cody's
see
great.
because I feel like before they didn't really believe in him or they weren't using him properly.
people were really behind him. I mean, I wonder if the Money in the Bank did anything for that, because the crowd was really behind Cody in that match. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that woke them up a little bit.
I think that it started a little bit earlier than that. I think ever since he got the mustache was when he was kind of like on the up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like whatever it was.
I would have never thought
WWE
anyone would get a
versus-
crowd chant for a mustache. That just always blows my mind.
I still love when he was walking backstage and Caitlyn, they're like, "What are you doing? Are you the secret admirer?" And they grabbed his phone. They're like, "Oh, he's looking at pictures of himself." He was like, and he's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I?"
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And a mustache will always get over. That's really all there is to it. Mustaches
Smiley
will never
shaved
stop
his.
being funny. Did he?
Smiley did.
Yeah.
Oh,
When?
yeah. Before he left.
I did not know that.
WrestleMania time, he shaved it.
Oh, so now he's a clean-shaven Smiley?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you not see him right before he left? Or you
I
just
did not
didn't notice?
I didn't get it. I don't believe
You haven't seen
I
him since
did.
April?
Oh, did he shave that? Really?
WrestleMania, he shaved it, yeah.
Oh, then I have seen him.
Yeah.
I just didn't.
You're not
didn't-
keeping up with his lip
You
hair.
just didn't care enough.
No,
to
I
notice.
cared enough. Damn it! I'm used to
You
seeing
just
him.
wanted his seat, and that was it.
Well, okay.
You guys
That's
can see
enough.
Smiley in person at NXT.
Yes.
Probably you can.
Well, like if you're there.
If you're really looking,
If you're there.
you could definitely say.
I
it.
just
could
spoke
probably,
to him
like,
the
go
other day, and he
backstage
told
and-
me how happy he is.
I love it.
Things are going very well
He's
for him.
put in
That's awesome.
15 plus years of hard work, and he did a fantastic job on this show. And now we're glad he's in Florida, and I am stoked for him.
I am
And
so happy
I know he's
for him.
killing it down there.
Yeah.
He's crushing it.
He's killing it down there.
So if you're watching Smiley, bam, we love you, buddy. All right, so yeah, we had that match, and then moving on, CM Punk. Next segment comes down to the ring. This promo, kind of like the opening promo of the show, didn't do a whole lot to set up. We knew the match was going to happen. CM Punk said he wants the best versus the beast. Heyman shows up on the monitor. We don't see Lesnar. And basically, Heyman gives a long-winded acceptance.
yeah.
That's pretty much what it was.
It's exactly what we expected, but it was really well done. These two guys are the best, probably the two best talkers in the company.
Nothing like last week, but
No, yeah.
nothing's going to top what they did last week.
Yeah, that's true.
No. But I love Dory is like, is that really via satellite? Or are you back there right now? I'm going to come back and grab you by your fat throat and pull you into there. That's awesome.
He was worked up. He was worked up.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, those two going at it, and pretty much we now have the best versus the beast for SummerSlam.
I like that.
Clever. Very clever.
Or the best is the beast. According to Mr. Heyman.
One thing that I like that they've done the past, I want to say 2 months, maybe since they got new writers, is that they've really been building up the pay-per-views weeks out, not just the week before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the
Thankfully.
writing, once again, we've talked about this, but the writing's been so much better over the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So
And I don't know if there's
much
been
better.
wholesale changes. I have no idea because I don't really
know.
keep up on. I saw there was.
There was a posting for the head writer.
Yeah, someone sent me something
Raw.
like they sent me a thing to be the head right. Like here you should sign up for this. And I look, it's like 10 plus per years of production and TV experience.
Yeah.
Like thanks, man, but I don't want that
Yeah.
gig. I mean, that's not gonna happen.
No.
You know what I mean? That's I give credit to
There's
whoever
no
does
pressure
get
on that gig either. So
None.
yeah, it's easy.
None what's I give
You'll get
credit.
no gray hairs, so no stress.
Why? They had problems before? Gotcha.
You know.
I did love one line that Punk said. He said, you know, you can beat me down, referring to Brock, but you can't keep me down.
Yes.
And I thought that was just so well worded, and I don't know.
And it almost rhymes.
And it almost rhymes. And Punk just always has something that he pulls out week to week that just is like, you're the man. I see exactly why you are where you are.
He's a natural.
What was it Heyman said that these are not people, or something about not people, not animals? The Texans.
Of course, but yeah, making fun of Texans.
He was making fun of Texans.
These are Texans. I'm not gonna show up for them.
That's the perfect way to be a heel. Is just insult the people of whatever city you're live from.
You make fun of this. What you do as a heel, you make fun of the sports team, and as a baby face, you just say the town.
Yeah.
To get a pop.
Yep.
Mick Foley made a whole career out of it.
No, and then CM
right
Punk,
here
when he was
in New York
heel,
City.
CM Punk called him out a couple months ago when they were in some town, and he just says the name of the city, and he's like, "You guys are so stupid. You cheer, even though I'm hating on you guys right now." It was great.
Yeah.
Mick Foley was down at Comic-Con also, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Ran into him down there. He was in my hotel.
He's supposedly doing I think you were telling me.
He ran into him while standing outside of his room at the hotel.
It was really
in San Diego. What a coinky did.
What are you doing here inside of your room while I'm hiding behind the curtain?
Hi, I found your towel, sir.
Knock knock, room service.
Have a nice day.
And he's doing stand-up out here, isn't he? During SummerSlam, I think you were.
Yeah, he's got the show at the Improv after SummerSlam. I'm assuming it's going to be a 10 o'clock show because they're definitely not going to put an 8 o'clock show as soon as SummerSlam ends, because a lot of people are. It's going to sell out. You wouldn't get there.
Yeah.
And I was in San Diego over the weekend as well. He's going to be in San Diego in September, and I'm trying to get on those shows with him.
Yeah.
Nice.
We have the same agency, so I'm trying to.
There's a bad promoter in San Diego.
Oh man, that son of a bitch! I heard about that show over the weekend.
Yeah. One of our friends did not get paid.
Multiple people.
Multiple
friends.
And I saw X-Pac tweeting about that as well.
Yeah. Oh, that guy, whoever that promoter is, his name's DJ something.
DJ something.
He's done.
Yeah.
And he deserves to get every finisher from every wrestler that did not get paid at that show.
Pay your workers, scumbag.
Yeah. That makes me so sad for, these guys and girls. They went down there to San Diego. They put on a great show for the small audience. When there's a small audience, it comes back to whoever promoted the show. Mm-hmm. That gets me so upset that these guys and the girls put their bodies on the line, their time, their efforts, and get nothing to show for it.
Right.
I mean, that promoter deserves an ass whooping.
Yeah.
But anyways, we digress. Moving on to Wade Barrett versus RVD. This wasn't even much of a match, man. RVD looks fantastic. I mean, in Wade Barrett's case, the royal baby may have been born today, but not all is well in England. Because
I'll tell you what, they just continue to misuse Barrett in my book. Like,
okay, go ahead.
He just gets jobbed around all the time. Ever since he made that movie, I can't remember what, he got injured, and so they put him in that movie.
Colin Farrell.
With Colin Farrell,
Where
yeah,
he
that's
was
the
in it
exact
for
one.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and then Sheamus made fun of him for it. They called him stupid and totally bullied him. And made him feel bad about himself.
These were all his lines in the movie.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, I mean, that literally.
He didn't speak.
He was a thug.
He was just a thug. But point is, he came back, and I thought it would really get a lot of fanfare, or at least put him into some kind of, he had this little bit with the Intercontinental Championship with Miz, and then.
And he should have been walking around the whole time talking about what a giant movie star he is.
Yeah.
Like, they could have totally done something.
They change his theme music every 3 months.
They did that with Ted DiBiase, too.
He doesn't.
It kind of seems like he parallels Antonio Cesaro, which they didn't know what to do with him until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they finally found a good push.
I liked what Cesaro was doing the whole time. I don't know what happened to get him de-pushed. I thought he was great coming out the American flag.
What's her name?
I really like
doing the
him,
6 languages.
Yeah, I think it's great. I don't know what happened.
With his girlfriend, what's her name? Oksana.
Yeah. Mark my words, I think Cesaro was a future champion.
Yeah. My lover, Antonio.
That was only last SummerSlam, though. I mean, that was when he was getting a good push, and then just somewhere Cesaro got lost. And Wade Barrett is unfortunately in that same position.
They're both good workers, but
they look beastly. They're strong. I mean, he's good on a mic. I don't understand what the problem is.
I think he's a future champion for sure. I just think it's one of those things where they're going to make him wait it out for a while and see how the real American thing works.
Make him wait it out.
And one thing I guess we never actually talk about, it's funny, we as fans talk about, oh, this guy's good or bad. Actors we like, we don't like. What we don't actually talk about is how good of an employee are they? You don't know
you don't
the
see the
X
behind the
factor.
scenes stuff.
These guys could be the worst employees. They could be stupid. I mean, you literally have guys that you're like, oh, why didn't that guy make it? He had so much talent. Because they're stupid.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to play.
Jackson Andrews.
That's how you really feel.
I mean, I've heard.
Well, no, you're right.
Jackson
Andrews.
Like, oh, they're an idiot. You may have heard this story, but the person was
or they're not a company guy.
Yeah.
Jackson Andrews, perfect example. He was that 7-footer. They rushed in, they brought him on TV, and I heard from multiple people that I know personally that he was the biggest douchebag.
Yeah.
Didn't listen to anybody, thought his whatever didn't stink. And of course, he was the one that got accused of abusing Eva Mendes.
Yes.
Not Eva Mendes, Rosa Mendes.
Rosa Mendes.
Yeah. And
Schmoes
so,
talked about this guy.
Right. So he was off TV like that and out of the WWE like that. And it's a sad situation when sometimes it's like any profession. There's not all good people.
Right.
And so you can go to all the internet sites in the world. You don't necessarily always know how good of an employee someone is, and so we can't really say.
And it's harder, from what I understand, it's harder and harder now. Kendrick has told me before, it's very hard to be an asshole and be an employee there now and be
You
okay.
can't.
That's how it should be.
Back in the day, Shawn Michaels and those guys would come all pilled up and they could get away with it. You can't.
Now Shawn's holier than thou, though.
Yeah.
People knock John Cena for not being whatever enough, and the reason why WWE loves him so much is because he says yes to them for everything that they want. Like, he has always been behind them, and he never complains, and that is why he's at the top.
Darren Young is not Mr. No Days Off. John Cena's Mr. No Days Off.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, that's true. That's real true.
That's a shoot.
That's a real that's some real ass right there.
And I'm sure everyone would say they want to do that, but there are very few who actually put their money where their mouth
Yeah,
is.
there's a few guys out there. You see Ziggler doing a lot of that stuff. There's a few guys you see that are the guy.
Daniel Bryan now,
Yeah.
like, that is all he's doing.
They don't want just guys who can wrestle. They need guys who will get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the radio after they flew in the night before and are dead tired and only had one day at home.
And Cena granting all the Make-A-Wishes, I mean, he set records with that, and that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, you literally can fly in overnight. You have to get a backstory and whatever kid you're visiting, and he's done. I mean, he's made these
200
lives.
plus. Yeah,
300 now.
It's over 300.
He's the most, right, of any Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, and as someone who's worked in a hospital for years, I've worked with cancer patients. I work with the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Like, to have someone like John Cena do that for kids, I mean, it really touches you. Like, that's something I wish I was famous enough to do. Yeah. And so you see someone like Cena who has the fame, has the notoriety, that still takes the time to do that, regardless of what we think about in his promos now and his character.
That's taking time out of his family time, out of his life. Like, it's not just...
What he does for those kids and those families is... And I know Undertaker, I think, has done a lot of that, too.
Yeah,
like,
the whole company is incredible about that. Yeah, I was doing a show called Everyday Health, where I was line producing that. We're following great people in the health field or whatever. We followed like a 17-year-old girl that got her second-degree black belt in Taekwondo after a brain aneurysm. And we were going to do something in Connecticut, and we actually contacted WWE and didn't do anything with them, but they were very much like, anything, we would love to help you guys. Anytime someone charity calls them up, and they're down. Especially
when it comes to kids. I mean, these kids, they don't have a fair lot in life. They get stricken at an early age, and what they go through. I mean, you've met kids that are just stronger than any of us could be, And
my God.
Yeah.
Chokes me up. But yeah, it's amazing what guys like John Cena does in WWE and to work with kids with cancer, and that's one thing that we got to give him credit for.
Our boss Maria puts on a Day of Beauty every year at the LA Children's Hospital, which she did a couple weeks ago, and one of the kids there loves WWE.
Absolutely.
And she texted Mike the Miz and Jericho, and like within 10 minutes they were on the phone with this kid. Just like, it was so cute.
Yeah. And the Children's Hospital on Sunset Boulevard is just a metropolis. I mean, there's a McDonald's inside.
I think so. A buddy of mine goes and does plays. I think that's where he goes and plays guitar for.
There's a
for
lot of
kids.
events.
A lot of cancer kids there.
Yeah, a lot going on. I volunteered there before. They put on so many events. They're absolutely incredible at that hospital, and it's great.
Yeah.
And so hats off. I don't know how we got off that tangent, but hats off to
John Cena
and anyone that does that kind of stuff for the kids, because we all support it completely. So RVD looks fantastic.
Moving great. He hasn't missed a step.
No.
Yeah.
Crowd's really behind him.
The guy doesn't age.
That 5-star frog splash is always awesome. I love the way he's the only guy who really kind of changes his body in there, and he almost put. I gotta believe he almost doesn't put them straight on purpose so he can do that twisting.
Right, and I think with his personality, he's such a laid-back guy, and just like even out of the ring, such a nice guy. For his style in the ring, it's the perfect personality because he doesn't do anything tight. He does everything so loose that makes it look amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, which is a great match. I mean, unfortunately for Wade Barrett.
Have some go, girl.
I know. I'm my throat's going on me. Moving on to not even the final segment, really the final half hour plus of Monday Night Raw. It was the Daniel Bryan show.
It was the Daniel Bryan show.
The gauntlet match that was set up by Brad Maddox. I mean, Vince McMahon, whatever.
And this is that whole calling it a gauntlet match was weird for me.
Okay.
Well, first of all, they said he was going to have multiple matches, right?
Sure.
Then they announced it as a gauntlet match. So a gauntlet match is 2 guys start, and then, the winner, another guy comes in until there's 4 or 5 guys, a preset determined amount, and when everyone's done, the winner wins. So what would have happened if Daniel Bryan lost to Jack Swagger?
It kind of tells you that, it's,
would then Swagger have wrestled Cesaro, because that's what a gauntlet match is, and then it wasn't. So to me, this wasn't a gauntlet match. It almost felt like a mistake when they announced it as a gauntlet match.
Yeah, I think the whole thing. I don't know. I mean, I get it. We're putting Daniel Bryan over as a warrior.
Yeah, it was a test. It wasn't a gauntlet match. It was you're wrestling all these guys one after another. If you can beat these 3, then we're gonna give you the match.
I had people tweet me that they wanted to see 3 hours of Daniel Bryan.
Well,
yeah,
is that good?
3-hour Iron Man.
Hey, if you yell yes for 3 hours, that's a hell of a calorie burner.
Yeah,
that's a core workout.
Can we start that workout?
We should.
I think so.
The yes workout.
I'm into that.
Can you imagine a 3-hour Iron Man match? The whole one match, the entire show.
There's one guy that can do it.
Daniel Bryan.
Damn straight.
Be a lot of holds.
It would be a lot of holds.
Would that be could that be good? I guess if anyone could do that, it would be him.
Well, you said him and Cesaro had that match where they just did the headlock for 20 minutes. Or
that was Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, where it's all high spots. So supposedly the crowd completely crapped on it afterwards. But everyone who watches said it was brilliant because they were screwing with the crowd.
So 2 brilliant workers, and of course the PWG crowds are, wow.
Yeah,
they're into it. They pack it out.
And themselves.
Yes, they're into themselves. They're the wrestling snobs of the Southern California community, but great shows.
Yeah, very
great
good
shows, great promotion. So of course
you can shoot a guy with a gun and he kicks at it too, but
yeah, that is a good point. But people love it. Speaking of this match, though, we forgot to mention that Zeb Coulter comes out with the Real Americans, Cesaro and Swagger, and basically mentions Stephen F. Austin, who is a historical figure in Texas, fought for Texas's independence.
Steve F. and Austin?
Stephen F.
and Austin.
Steve
F. and Austin, baby.
It makes you wonder how many people in the crowd were like, is that Stone Cold's great-grandfather?
Oh, he was involved with Texas?
And that's why they called him Austin.
Yeah.
Was his nickname the Old Rattlesnake? So, Zeb cuts a decent promo.
Was that his name? I don't know.
Zeb cuts a good promo.
I'm surprised no one started chanting what when he was talking about Steve Austin there.
Yeah.
Damn.
Must have caught the crowd off guard.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
It's just
they were hot for you.
Too much work. You can't multitask. So Daniel Bryan beats Swagger, and then of course the next opponent, Cesaro. Fantastic finish to that match,
man.
guys.
This, I guess, this would be match of the night for me. I guess this one would
sure as hell ain't Christian and Titus.
No, I
almost forgot.
ADR Sheamus was good. There wasn't a whole lot of wrestling tonight.
Oh, don't forget Ziggler and Darren Young. That was
good.
Other than the last 40 minutes here, but.
Yeah.
No, this was definitely the match of the night for me, too.
This was the wrestling of the night. We didn't have a lot of wrestling leading up to this.
Cesaro just put so much power. I think he did that, that deadlift that he does. I think he did it maybe 2-3 times, and just every time he impresses me.
Badass.
When he just started throwing uppercut after uppercut after uppercut, and just beating him down, then hit him with that clothesline. That was great.
So those are 2 guys on the roster that you say can work with anyone, and when they're paired together, you're not going to get a bad match.
No. Yeah.
Not even a okay match.
No.
Poetry in motion. It's like I think on
they have great chemistry.
I heard an interview with Jake Roberts. I think it was on Cole Cabana's podcast, where he talked about how there was 100 days in a row he wrestled Ricky Steamboat. No joke, 100 days in a row.
Absolutely. It was old school. He used to do that.
And when they asked him, what's it like wrestling a guy that many days in a row? He's like, man, with someone that good, it's like making love. And he wasn't even being weird. But it's like that's how it is.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, well.
Look, it's the end of the show. We're going to get provocative.
My mom just texted me, and she said,
Hi, Miss Kelly.
Miss Kovacs.
Hi, Miss Kovacs. Sorry.
Kovacs.
Mama K is
what
we call her here.
Hi, Mama K.
I liked when John Cena jumped in and stopped the other dude from smashing the guy he slammed into a table.
So did we. We liked that run-in.
Yeah, that was actually...
We agree with you, Miss K.
Yeah.
That was a John
Spot
Cena
on,
run-in,
mama.
one of the best run-ins we've seen from Cena in a while.
Yes.
I dug that.
But that happened after
She
the
doesn't
next
watch
match.
wrestling, by the way.
After the next match.
After the next match.
Mama K's, you're jumping the gun.
Mama K is
So Cesaro misses the uppercut. Great roll-up from Daniel Bryan. Solid standing ovation for that one. Then, of course, the next opponent, we were wondering who's it going to be.
A lot of us were saying maybe Big Show because they announced Big Show was going to be back tonight.
Yeah.
It must have gotten pushed.
Yeah, they had. They had a graphic for him. They sent out their text them on their texting list.
Maybe it'll be on Ion.
Sometimes you run out of time. Which last week we were talking about Daniel Bryan was supposed to wrestle Wade Barrett, but CM Punk went long with Paul Heyman, so they moved. They were supposed to Jericho and RVD were supposed to go 14 minutes, and they gave them 22.
There you go.
Instead, which tells you all you young wrestlers out there, learn to call things in the ring. Because if you walk out there, they might, and I've seen this happen at shows where you're walking out for a 3-minute match, and they go, "I need you to do 12." And you have to figure it out. And if you
live television,
learn
not
to
easy.
call in the ring.
I feel like it's odd though that something that heavily promoted got bumped.
Yes,
it happens.
It is weird.
Brodus Clay, when he was coming back, was so heavily promoted for
As the
weeks,
beast.
and they kept pushing it week after week after week after week, and then we got the
funky.
Funky down the bow.
What?
Meanwhile, Ernest the Cat Miller's at home like, you mother... using my song.
My song, my gimmick, everything.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I
It's an ode.
I don't agree to that.
It's an ode.
No, it's not an ode. It's
I love the Funkadactyls.
I
love the Funkadactyls. And I love Sweet Tea and Brodus.
I love the Cat and the Wrestler.
Yeah, oh yeah. The Cat playing, what was his character? The Middle Eastern guy?
He was the Sheik, right?
Was it? Something.
I think they just called him the Sheik.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
His name was the bad guy.
I love when he walks and he's like...
Ayatollah. Was the Ayatollah?
Ayatollah, that was it.
Bam.
Ayatollah. Where Mickey Rourke walks up to him and he's like, "Hey, you want to go over the spots before?" He goes, "How about this? I'm the heel, you're the face."
Beautiful.
Love that.
Love it. Heel heat, son. So Ryback puts Daniel Bryan through a table, and I dig that on Ryback's end. That brings Ryback back to like the monster heel, aside from this like whiny dude.
And ties into what he had said earlier. Like it really completed the story for the night, I feel.
And with the Daniel Bryan, John Cena stuff, it was all full circle.
Exactly.
All made sense.
It still makes me wonder though, the fact that Vicky is now the GM of SmackDown, that whole thing where he hugs her and said, "Vicky, it's going to be all right." Is that just going to be nothing?
A throwaway.
Yeah.
Is it something they were thinking of going one way, and then the next day they're like,
really
"You know what?
like
Let's
that idea,
go."
though.
I did too.
But I guess, they kind of needed someone stronger.
I'd like to see Ryback with somebody.
No.
I still say
I want to hear Vicky. I want to hear Vicky yell, "Feed me more."
I'll tell you, I've said before, I would love to see a powerlifting faction with Big E, Ryback, and Mark Henry.
Jesus.
And then, you could throw someone else in there, but just get all the powerlifting monsters
she can
together.
still play favorites. She can still play favorites with him on SmackDown.
Listen, she pulled double duty plenty of times, so it's not like
She
this
was
would be the
with
first
Edge.
time.
That just sounds really weird.
Yeah.
We got provocative at the end of the episode.
She did with Edge, right? She was GM and managed Edge, right?
Yeah. It's not. It wouldn't be a
Or
new
was it
thing
a
for her.
relationship with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, Vicky has dated many a.
And she was GM and she was helping out Dolph
That's true.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
So we'll see what
Even though
happens.
they were kind of like trying to play a thing like she wasn't really, but
Yeah.
but she was.
Yeah. But nonetheless, the table spot was great. Cena comes down, makes a save, and then all of a sudden we cut to backstage. Brad Maddox is watching the match, and then Vince is right there next to him, and Vince basically forces him. Well, I'm sorry. There's a tables match next week. Cena
challenges
Ryback to a tables match, and then Vince pressures Brad Maddox saying, "Well, what about Daniel Bryan? You got to test him. You got to whatever the hell Vince says." And it ends with he's like, "Maybe you should put him in a match with a friend, a best friend." And Brad Maddox is like, "Okay, Daniel Bryan versus Kane." And then it cuts back to the ring. Daniel Bryan's back
I thought
in
he
the
was
ring.
going to have a snarky comment there. It just ended kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a little.
It cut weird.
And it was weird. It was just kind of shoved in
I
there.
can't
Like,
wait.
we need to get this exposition out.
I can't wait to see that match because something's going to happen with Kane and the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're
Has
going to
to.
join forces
We didn't
so
get Wyatts
soon,
tonight.
but
We got a video package, a cool video package of the Wyatts, but
Yeah.
that was it.
I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, I don't know if they would be recruiting someone so soon.
I don't think they need to quite yet. I mean, they're still
I think
fresh
they are,
and-
though. I think that's. I get the feeling that their debut is them going after Kane to recruit him.
And they're not going after a tag team title. You
No,
don't think? Nothing like
but
that.
Kane kind of makes sense, like, because this is kind of like a mix of Blair Witch and
Loner.
Cape Fear and Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one that, and you've got Kane with the mask, so he kind of fits in with the group.
And it allows them to just slowly introduce them. Like they've been doing that the past couple months, and it's been building up and building up.
Right.
It's not just like they're throwing in your face like they did Bo
Maybe
Dallas.
Kane can speak for them or something.
And they almost all dress kind of like different horror characters from different movies, and
That's
so
true.
Kane would fit in with that group.
I mean, Bray can speak. I don't think that's the
Bray
issue.
can really speak.
No, I'm talking about the two big boys.
Yeah.
Harper and Rowan.
But that's why
What
you have
about him?
Bray.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I don't know. It could be an interesting.
I
think it'd be good
situation. I'm really excited for that match because something's going to be weird.
I'd rather it be a feud for maybe let's have them have a match at SummerSlam or something, and then he's brainwashed or brought in or whatever. I would like to see this culminate first before just
he's gonna need
pulling him in.
to be reluctant. Yeah. They're gonna need to get him somehow.
Kane needs something for sure.
And then you gotta and hopefully if they do that, then the new mask and new
mask, but don't take him out of the mask.
No, don't take a new mask. Maybe even more Leatherface-ish.
Give him the goat mask.
And different, a whole different. You gotta give him new gear.
No, seriously. What if they all start wearing goat masks? That's like his way to be.
Is it a goat or a lamb? It's a lamb, right?
I don't think you can wrestle with that on though.
Well, I know, but my point is almost like it's almost like hazing. Like at a fraternity, you make him wear the mask, and that's how he becomes.
Maybe like a leather patchworking sort of version of it.
I don't know much about cults. I'm just guessing that's how they work. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, well, hey, look.
When we were in the house, we had the guy in the room with the obey. So that's what they do to you in the White House. It's freaky.
I think he said in the White House. I'm like, damn, how do you getting political now?
The White House too, yeah.
That's a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
I believe.
We do not talk about the Illuminati on this show.
They probably do weirder things there than at the White House.
Yeah, you got the ghost of Abe Lincoln sitting in a rocking chair. Like back in my day, things were different. Anyways,
we didn't have a central bank.
Guys, this has been a great episode after a really solid Monday Night Raw. I think we're about finished, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I feel pretty good.
Dale Rutledge, put yourself over.
Hey, you can always hit me up at The Walking Dale on Twitter, and you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/dishingonmovies.
Greatest Twitter handle ever.
I know. It's just
Every week we will continue to say that because it's true.
It is.
I appreciate it.
GM Ryan Clum.
You can catch me at Cluminator, and this Saturday I will be at Millennium Pro Wrestling in Simi Valley, California.
So will I. Oh, actually,
there as well. I
don't know if I'm going to be there.
Well, you're
I
you are the owner.
Yeah, well,
so,
I've missed the last 3 shows. I
know. You're a terrible owner.
Pull it together.
Look, I don't
Bad
know
owner.
if I can make it.
Yeah.
But I'll be there, boss. So, Simi Valley, California, 7 o'clock bell time.
Nice.
Catherine Kelley, put yourself over.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley, and then check out our interview with the Funkadactyls tomorrow, Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific.
Absolutely.
Do it.
If you love great wrestling, go to HollywoodWrestling.com. Championship Wrestling Raleigh had a great taping yesterday. Can't wait to see how that turns out. New tag team champions, Pretty Peter Avalon, Ray Rosas, PP Ray. Congratulations, guys.
And that airs nationally on MAV TV now, right?
MAV TV. That's a great
Nice.
It does. Yeah, it does. And otherwise, I'm the host of Access Live on Access TV, channel 340 on DirecTV, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Thursday. Check me out there. Or go to scslamcast.com and download my podcast on iTunes. That's also wrestling stuff. Otherwise, I think we got a great squad here, boys
I
and
watched
girls.
Access TV this week.
You did?
Yes. I liked it very much.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good, yeah.
It's
Very,
live
very
TV.
good.
We work really hard on the show. I'm very proud of it, and I appreciate you watching. And check it out. You'd see more of my dumbass.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Great job tonight, everyone. Thanks for having us back, Cathy, Cluminator, Dale Rutledge. We say thank you for watching, and please give us all the feedback you like, because we love to hear it. And we'll see you next time on the Raw After Show on AfterBuzz TV.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
buzz you later.
I was late on that.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.